Well, Reds, I had hoped to come on to Liverpool Latest today in a much better mood, especially after the last 24 hours that we have been dealing with. Unfortunately, I sit here on episode 69. Nice. Not so much in a joking matter, because this team and this organization has a crisis. A crisis that is increasingly becoming more and more apparent, and that opponents are able to take advantage of in matches. As you can tell from the layout I have today, we did not beat Burnley, as I expected. We drew to Burnley in what was a dominating game on our part. And the sad part is, in the last episode, I practically predicted all of this to happen. I wanted us to win, but I knew deep down something was going to prevent that from happening. And thus, another draw in our last 5 matches, which is 4 out of the 5, has become apparent. And I sit here today, and I am just in complete, I don't want to say despair, but I am certainly feeling unhappy. Very unhappy. Let's get right into the numbers of this match, shall we? Because on paper, we dominated, as I expected. But dominating on paper and in numbers does not mean jack shit when you are putting out performances like we've been putting out, thus resulting in the matches we are getting and the results of those matches. Against weaker opponents, mind you. By the way, did you know the only reason we beat Burnley in the last match, I'm sure you do, but I completely forgot, was a penalty shot? Yeah, that's how we beat a team that is basically on the verge of being relegated again. In a penalty shot. Today, we gave them a point. We felt bad about the last time. We were like, hey, let's just give them a point. We'll sacrifice the points. We're not going to win the league anyway. Somehow we're on the verge of the top 4 still. Taking it back from Man United, who beat City today. Just another added bit of salt in the wound, and another just another kick in the nuts. 28 shots today to Burnley's 6. 7 shots on target to Burnley's 1. We controlled 73% of all possession in the game. We had more accuracy in passing than Burnley did. We committed less fouls. We committed less yellow cards. We had less offsides, and the one offside we had cost us a goal from Ekitike. Thanks a lot on that one, buddy. And we had more corners. 9-1. And not a single one of them was capitalized on. Some of them were actually very poor. So poor, I sat and rolled my eyes as it happened. This is Liverpool Football Club in 2026 under Arne Slot. High possession, no output. Or at least no positive output. And no positive results either. And I could sit here and tell you about the positives of the match. I could sit here and tell you that Wirtz's goal was fantastic. Great shot. He's got 7 points. And there was a tweet I liked here somewhere, if you would give me a moment to look for it. Wirtz has 6 goal. This is his 6th goal assist in his last 7 games. Good for him, truly. That's probably the one positive in this entire match I can talk to you about. Everything else is shambles. True, unadulterated shambles. Dominic Szoboszlai gets a penalty, or takes a penalty for us. And we could have been a repeat of the last match. And lo and behold, he kicks it into the crossbar too high. Moments like that are the difference between winning, drawing, or even losing games. Because there is no goddamn way, in my opinion, he should have fucking botched that. And somehow it's only his second penalty ever that he's ever missed. And I don't know what the other one was like, but that was just a missed opportunity that just hurts. Of course, the Ekitike offside goal, or I call it a goal, but it was offside, that hurt too. Numerous chances weren't able to be capitalized on. I can go on, but honestly, I would just bore myself, and I would bore you, which I don't want to do. What I will talk to you about is, I don't want to hear fucking shit about this unbeaten run we're on. I see that used as a argument in defense of Slot, how we're unbeaten in like the last 10 or 11 games, or whatever the fuck the number is at now. And frankly, these are all Pyrrhic victories. I said this before and I will say it again. It is a Pyrrhic victory, this unbeaten run. This is our, how do I say, this is our consolation prize for having such a shit fall. We have no reason to remotely be happy about this unbeaten run because the results are trash. We're struggling against bottom-of-the-barrel teams. We have no goal output. Those who are scoring goals are doing a great job, but then after that, the defense collapses, allowing for a moment like Burnley to capitalize, where Konate gets beat, and then Alisson can't make the save. Whose fault it is? I can't really tell you. I think it's on both of them. So, miss me with that bullshit of the unbeaten run argument. On paper, yeah, it looks nice. In articles, yeah, it's a nice little statistic to throw in there to put in some positivity about what's been going on this season. Reality of the situation is, unbeaten run doesn't mean a goddamn thing if the results aren't what we want them to be. I don't believe in listen, I understand the whole thing of a draw, but where I'm from, and most of the sports I follow, teams play until they win. Very rarely do we see draws in American football. In hockey, it has to result in a shootout. In baseball, it goes into extra innings. Basketball will go into overtime until somebody wins the game. Lacrosse, I think, is like sudden death if the first person to score a goal in overtime wins. Yes, I watch lacrosse. It's actually a very entertaining sport. You can't sit here and tell me that you could be happy about a draw. I think it depends on the opponent. Like Arsenal, getting a draw against Arsenal, okay, I can live with that. We didn't lose. Fantastic. But drawing against Burnley and being happy about that and using that as part of the rhetoric of unbeaten run, that's a team you gotta beat. That's a team you should beat. Leeds, team you should beat. Imagine what the fuck will happen if we face West Ham. Or, fuck, who else is on the bottom? Wolves. Imagine if we faced Wolves and fucking drew. There's no reason we should be facing Wolves and drawing. Nottingham Forest is 17th, right outside of relegation. Could you imagine if we fucking drew to them? I can live with draws to teams like United or City because they're good upper echelon teams and be like, okay, as long as we take points away from them and gain a point in the process, that's fine. But when we're facing bottom of the barrel teams, I'm sitting here like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Again, 4 draws in our last 5 matches, and half of those half of those matches that are part of this unbeaten run. I think we have more draws in this unbeaten run than we have wins at this point. Statistically speaking, I'm pretty sure. So please, miss me with the bullshit of the unbeaten run, because clearly it means nothing to us fans who are watching the sport and like this quality of football is not it compared to the last season. This is not what won us a championship. And I don't think this quality of football will win us a championship. Under Slot, for sure. Only to further get ourselves kicked in the balls is the news that broke about Mark Gahey. I don't know what to say. We had this guy on the verge of being signed on the last day of the transfer window in the summer. And for some reason, it fell through. And Glasner, that piece of shit coach for Crystal Palace, blocked it, even threatened to kill himself. Maybe jokingly. Still not a thing to joke about, in my opinion, but seemed like it was more of a joke. That if he lost Mark Gahey, he was going to kill himself because he knew that he was cooked. What does he do now after that Mark Gahey is more or less confirmed to be going to Man City? Oh, what do you know? Another player that we could have signed that is going to Man City. We lost that on Semenyo. Might as well lose out on Gahey too. Now he says he's not going to be a part of the team next season. You're a bitch. You're a piece of garbage. You are an absolute, what do they call? Bellend. A nonce. An Egypt. You are every, I was going to say slur, you are every insult I can think of in my mind, some of which I cannot say on YouTube. And I know a lot of fucking insults, okay? Fuck this guy. Because he blocked it the last time, and we could have went for it again. This is the other problem I have. Where is our decisiveness? We could have went for Mark Gahey the first of the year, January 1st, and we chose to sit back and wait. And do you know what Man City got for Mark Gahey? I was talking about how he was going to cost like upwards of like $40 to $50 million. They got him for $20 million. You mean to tell me you couldn't dig into your pockets and match that? I think we may have given like I heard a thing that we may have given them slightly higher, but they didn't, or they were planning on giving slightly higher, and that didn't work out for some reason. But they got him for $20 million. We lost out to $20 million after we spent out $500 over the summer. And you know what's worse? We're still going to have the same problems we have. Konate is going to leave on a free. Van Dijk's not going to have much more time left on his contract. He has no replacement. We've given them all away. Calvin Ramsey's getting insulted by Arne Slot at press conferences left and right, it seems. So any center back options we have are like fucking dwindling. Jarrell Kwanzaa's gone. He was like one of our only hopes. As much of a doofus as he was at times, he was like one of the only people I actually had any hope in to succeed Van Dijk. We have nobody to replace Konate. I don't think we'll even sign anybody this transfer window. I don't even think Nico Schlotterbeck could fucking save this team. We're screwed. We are screwed. And I sit here and I begged for months, please, sign Mark Gahey. We need something. We need a name. We need someone of talent and skill. And we didn't do it. This should have been a day one decision. I can understand waiting until the last minute to some degree, but I can't excuse for not trying to buy him the first day of the transfer window for January. And it looks like we are content to sell or to gain absolutely nobody for some strange fucking reason, because of our ridiculous philosophy that we can maneuver players around instead of trying to add new players to help build the team. Are we just content to sit at 4th place for the whole year? Because that's what it seems like we're at right now. We're lucky we're even in 4th place. But it seems like we're pretty content to just stay there. And lo and behold, Man City loses today against United, causing a further gap between Arsenal and them. And the idea of City Pool certainly is a joke that is being laughed about this Saturday morning for all of us. Which begs to my last point. Do you know who Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are? Let me explain. Michael Edwards, his role is CEO of football for Fenway Sports Group, FSG, the owners of Liverpool Football Club. He oversees football matters for Liverpool and works on FSG's broader multi-club model strategy. Richard Hughes is the sporting director for Liverpool Football Club. His responsibilities involve managing transfers, contracts, liaises, I guess, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, and recruitment. Both of these men, as it stands right now, are on fraud watch. I could not think of two more incompetent people to be a part of this club running the positions they are in, which are important for our club. You spent almost $500 million in the summer acquiring very good names on paper, not replacing properly the players you were losing, and now you sit here and you essentially have several contracts that are coming up, some of which may have rumored to be signed and some of which clearly are not going to get anywhere before the summer ends. Konate is what I'm talking about, in case you didn't realize. And we're not going to gain anybody for that contract because for some reason we just allow it to run out. Same thing with Trent. You didn't sign Trent. Now look at him. He's poor bastard's miserable with an injury in, or at least I don't know if he's still injured or not, but he's miserable in Real Madrid right now, according to reports I've been reading all week. So you let him walk on a free. And now you lose out on a premier center back that could help build us some depth in a position that's already costing us a lot of problems this season, both with Van Dijk and Konate. And you let a rival club get him for less than what we could have spent for it. As if I haven't had enough problems in my sports teams this week. The Rangers released the Letter 2.0, as some of us are calling it, announcing their essential rebuild once again. Rangers being hockey, not the football team in Scotland. So, and now I have this to deal with. I am in hell. It's like the dog gif, where everything is burning around me. And I'm saying this is fine. No, it's not fine. This sucks. A lot. But I have to smile through it anyway. Because what else am I going to do? Thanks for watching Liverpool Latest today, everybody. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. And leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you'd like to hear me rant more and more in the coming days and weeks, as we progress through this miserable season, defending champions, mind you, hit subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. It would make my efforts here and my misery much more worth it for you. And of course, thank you for FanArch for putting up with me, because, Lord, I could have gone so much worse today. This is the restrained anger I have to show because I'm just that unhappy with this team and this organization, as well as all my other organizations. See you guys on the next one. I certainly feel like I'm walking alone.